I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch Network, and this is a breaking news alert, and a good one. Donald Trump's lawyers just submitted their proposed agenda to Judge Raymond Dearie, who is the special master who's now overseeing the review of the documents that were obtained through the valid search warrant on August 8th. This was a process that Donald Trump initiated. This was a special master that Donald Trump requested. In fact, Judge Dearie was one of the two special masters who Trump had suggested that Judge Aileen Cannon appoint, and she appointed Judge Dearie. And as I had mentioned, and lots of other legal commentators have commented this, Judge Dearie is a no-nonsense federal judge from the Eastern District of New York. He was the former chief judge of the Eastern District of New York. He sits on the FISA court. He knows confidential records, and he is not going to stand for BS. Trump went so far down his own MAGA QAnon rabbit hole that because Judge Dearie was involved in the FISA court that issued a warrant in connection with Carter Page that was later determined to have some defects based on representations by the FBI, Trump and MAGA lawyer world believed, I suppose, that Judge Dearie was just going to be on their side and not the side of the law on very basic and well-settled issues. And as I mentioned, I thought that Trump was going to be very disappointed in this selection from a judge who will uphold the law. So here's what happened. So Judge Dearie issued a draft kind of case management plan where he asked very basic questions. And so he asked Trump's lawyers to provide any declarations or affidavits or any evidence at all, or what their position is about declassifying the 100 classified records, and to make their claims of why are they claiming these 100 classified documents belong to Donald Trump. Like a very basic question on a fundamental issue that a special master would be hired to do, right? The special master's determination here is based on Donald Trump's claim that these documents may be declassified and he may possess them and own them. That's the only reason that there's a special master here, because Trump is claiming that's their special master's role, to go through these documents. So the special master asked the question right away and said, are these yours? And Trump's lawyers don't have an answer. They're arguing now that that shouldn't be addressed right now, that they shouldn't have to submit any affidavits now, and that the special master should just take them, look at them, make his own decisions, and then get back to him, which makes no sense because the special master is asking them as part of his job, what is your position regarding these documents? And so as I said, the law of holes, stop digging. I said that. By the way, I love that Trump was digging the hole deeper and deeper and deeper. But here he's dug it so deep that he doesn't even know what to say with these documents because he'll be further incriminating himself, and he can't answer the special master's most basic question that the special master's asking, which is, so did you declassify these records? Yes or no? Here's what they said. This is what Trump's lawyer said. The draft plan that the judge had requested of them requires the plaintiff, Trump, to disclose specific information regarding declassification to the court and to the government. Duh, that's what the role is. And they go this: we respectfully submit that the time and place for the affidavits or declarations would be in connection with a Rule 41 motion that specifically alleges declassification as a component of its argument for return of property. Otherwise, the special master process will have forced the plaintiff to fully and specifically disclose a defense to the merits of any subsequent indictment without such a requirement being evident in the district court's order, Judge Aileen Cannon's order. So if that sounded like a bunch of gobbledygook, and that you want me to try to interpret that for you because I'm a lawyer and that's what I do. I'm sorry, you're not going to get it. That was word salad that made absolutely no sense at all. The special master was appointed to go through these documents because Trump asked it to happen, to make determinations of where these documents belong. The government's argument are these are classified records that belong to the executive branch. They don't belong to the former guy. They're classified. So the judge goes, oh, so are they classified? Let me know. That's exactly the question Judge Eileen Cannon should have asked and intentionally didn't ask. And she melded the issues together and just said, I don't really know. Let the special master decide, because that's what Trump was saying. And remember, I told you in the prior videos I did that Trump never addressed, and he intentionally tried to avoid whether these documents were declassified and whether he was claiming an ownership of it. Now, the classification status doesn't matter for the charges that are being investigated, the criminal charges of Espionage Act, obstruction, and concealment. But the idea that they're declassified, if he's claiming he owns them and they're his and they're not presidential records, I suppose the only way to logically, and this whole thing is illogical, that you can get at that premise that you possess and own our nation's classified records. I suppose if you claim they're not classified records and that they're not government records and that they're your own. So these are elements of what needs to be looked at if you're claiming a possessory interest, which he's never claimed. And so the judge, brilliantly, Judge Dearie, focused, lasered in on that issue, which Judge Cannon failed to do. And Donald Trump's response was that word salad that I just told you, which literally makes no sense. I mean, if you want me to try to break it down for you, what Trump is basically saying is that for us to make this position, make this and give you our position, we don't want to reveal it now, because if we revealed it and then we get indicted, we will have prematurely revealed our position, which we want to reserve as a defense to the crime if we're charged. Because a Rule 41 is a suppression motion, which is after you're indicted to suppress evidence. And a Rule 41 motion could also be a return of evidence, but that's what this process is trying to determine. So I suppose what they're trying to get at is, Judge, we don't want to tell you all this. You make the decisions without us answering your questions, and then let's ask Judge Eileen Cannon, who is the corrupt judge who's in our pocket, about what she thinks after you go through it. So that's what they're, I suppose, trying to say without saying exactly what I did. And here's another part where they take issue with Judge Dearie's own, their special master, the person who they suggested. By the way, this is why the government said, we're good with Judge Dearie. Surprising you pick Judge Dearie, but again, why would Trump do it? They're so far in their MAGA conspiracy land that I suppose they thought Judge Dearie would just be a corrupt judge on their side like Judge Cannon. But boy, did they miscalculate this. And then they say this in their letter brief to Judge Dearie as well. Finally, although we recognize the time for full objections on the draft plan is not today, we are concerned that it contemplates resolving issues that were not raised by Judge Cannon in her order denying the stay or oral argument. Specifically, Judge Cannon was aware of the likelihood of an eventual 41G litigation and established a process by which the special master would evaluate any such claims before reporting and recommending to the court. So they were already fighting with the special master, Judge Dearie, who they selected, and they're telling Judge Dearie that you're not following what Judge Cannon are. You're not following what our judge was telling you to do. But you appointed him. This was the special master you wanted. I know. At this point, I'm repeating myself, but this is a big news. And I'm telling you, they are boxed in right now. So, in many ways, here's what could happen. What could be great. Imagine this. The 11th Circuit grants the Department of Justice motion for partial stay, right? So then the DOJ gets back their 100 classified documents anyway. And now Trump has to go in front of Judge Dearie, this no-nonsense federal judge now, with respect to all the other government documents that he stole, and then tries to make claims how he owns these documents. I wouldn't be shocked if Trump just withdraws this request for a special master at this point, because I think his lawyers clearly know the hole that he just dug. And you're like, well, they dug the hole. Well, he has all these lawyers. Remember that guy Cochran and Christina Bobb and Alina Habba, and now Jim Trusty and Christopher Kais. You have all these people doing all these different things that have now created this situation for him that may be intractable, right? He may have just put himself in a situation that was a million times worse than the really bad situation he was in before. And here's the thing. What was the government's filing? The government filed their recommended agenda to Judge Dearie. And it was very simple. It was just pursuant to your order. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to put the documents on data management software. We're going to have a protective order where any outside vendors can, make sure that they're bound by the highest level of confidentiality. Judge Dearie, we're waiting on the Court of Appeals with respect to the 100 classified records. We'll report back to you what a Court of Appeals says there. So let's not focus on those documents yet. The Court of Appeals will rule. If they rule that there's a motion for partial stay, we'll get those records back. That won't be part of your process. If they rule that somehow this should be, which we would not believe is the case, but that's not what they said. But I think they're confident they're going to win at the 11th Circuit. But to the extent this becomes part of the process, we'll address that with you at a later time. We'll review these records. We'll review the documents. You'll make decisions. We'll try to break these up into batches of 500. Let's go. The government's like, let's do it. This is what you wanted. Let's go. And Trump's like, let's not go. Let's not do it. You're violating Judge Eileen Cannon's order. They're already attacking the special master, Trump's lawyers, the one that they chose. Anyway, I could go on. I could go on forever on this one. It's so good. It's a really, really good stuff. Again, for those who want to see the legal dork in me, I apologize. You'll like this. For others, I legally dork out on stuff like this because you see how all of the updates that we've given you accurately have demonstrated where Trump has now boxed himself in, because he's not thinking more than a step ahead. He's thinking, how can I work the system? That's why the wheels of justice move slowly, but our system actually has this layer of brilliance in it built in, which fortunately for now has held our democracy together. It's why we got to keep fighting together for this. So here's what you got to do now. Subscribe to the MeidasTouch Network. I need you to subscribe right now to this MeidasTouch Network so we can get to 1 million subs and you can get more commentary like this. Now, here's the next thing. We just started a Patreon account at patreon.com/MeidasTouch, patreon.com/MeidasTouch. We're not run by billionaires or millionaires. We're not outside investors. This is fueled by democracy and you. There are different membership tiers. And if you want to help support independent media, become a member of the MeidasTouch Patreon account. That's how you can help out. And for now, I'm Ben Meiselas. And until next time, let's keep fighting for our democracy.
MeidasTouch is unapologetically pro-democracy. And look, we know you are too. So please make sure you check out our best-selling shirt and our best-selling gear, the unapologetically pro-democracy gear. And hey, while you're at it, make sure you check out my favorite shirt and one of our most famous designs. It wasn't rigged, you're just a loser. At store.meidastouch.com. That's store.meidastouch.com.